and today trade, investment, that domain, technology. Then I would also, point to the fact that we have been able to very clearly demonstrate to the world that we are a exceptional international power, meaning we are willing to do things for others, perhaps more than most other countries are at this point of time. One is this sort of first responder record we have built up. Turkey is the latest. That if something happens, if it is reasonable, if it is within the realm of possibility, India is there early. India
Operation
is there
Maitri also.
Maitri,
Yeah.
Operation. I can give you
So many, yes.
a whole list of these. Rahat in Yemen,
Yeah.
Sankat Mochan in Sudan.
But the COVID vaccine is something
I
that
was
touched
coming.
everybody.
I was coming to that.
Yeah.
Those are one country or one region,
Yeah.
or one situation. If you ask me, a single thing we have done in the last 10 years which has shaped global views about us, I think it is Vaccine Maitri.
Yeah.
That it's almost I would say it's almost emotional to hear what people come and tell you about that.
And yet there was criticism at that time, if you remember, Dr. Jaishankar, because people said you haven't managed to, or we haven't managed to vaccinate all of our population, and here we were sending vaccines abroad. There was a lot of criticism then.
I don't know if there was a lot, because I think people
Domestically, at least, there was.
I think there was loud criticism from the expected quarters. I would not consider it lot of criticism. It's very interesting in this country. You would have people who, when you do things, say, why are you doing it? When you're not doing it, say, why are you not doing it? If there's consistency, the consistency is in opposition to anything you do. Okay. The fact is, I think most people in this country understood that, it's the right thing to do. And let me tell you one thing. When Delta wave came, because it wasn't only the vaccines. Before that there was a hydroxychloroquine, there was a paracetamol, etc. Think how many countries did their bit to help us. And some of them, like say President Biden, the Americans, they said very clearly, saying that, look, India helped us and we are going to help India. So, this very sort of short-sighted view. And sometimes, as I said, the people who claim to be internationalists suddenly become super nationalist. Beware of such people. Because
I am going to come to that,
yes.
whether we are hypersensitive as a country, to criticism, because you saw that little video that I played in which George Soros' statement on democracy, you took on, and you said that, you said he was old, rich, opinionated, and
I know what I said.
Right. Now, there's also the op-eds which come in foreign media, which say that that they blame India for crony capitalism and say Mr. Modi's image has got hurt. The BJP, on the other hand, says that there's a conspiracy against India, rising India, and Mr. Modi's muscular policies, and it would be nicer to have a meek and submissive India.
Look, Smita, I have dealt with the world for a long time. I have dealt with the media. I even had a media job at one point of time. Okay, I want you to step back. Don't think incident by incident. They say this, something happened. You said this. They said this. The media said. I don't want you to do that, because you're really losing the woods for the trees. I want you to step back and think the last 9-10 years. Okay, what you have from different quarters is, an episode there, a decision here, an adjective added here, a photograph done there. It's like drip, 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 like water on stone. The whole idea is to shape your image, your collective image. Shape it in a way in which you're made to look extremist, you're made to look unreasonable, you are made to look as though, you're not part of this, what is otherwise a great, good, progressive world. Okay. Now, it happens in different ways. Every time we make a major decision, you talk about us being hypersensitive. I would put it to you, look at the hypersensitivity of the media. Look how people jumped up and down when Article 370 was decided upon. Now, or even this example that millions of people will lose their citizenship. And then see sometimes the dishonesty of
The
it.
CAA one that you're talking
See
about.
the dishonesty of it. You had reports, and I'm not personalizing it. I've got nothing against individual A or B or newspaper A or B, but each one of them has contributed their bit. Okay. You actually have people who would suggest problems in Assam are because of Narendra Modi. Now you and I know, come on, this is Indira Gandhi's time. Okay, but that is whitewashed. You have people who say, oh, there's serious problem with judiciary because there's an ex-chief justice who's now entered parliament. Is it for the first time? No, there was Ranganath Mishra did it earlier. So, our institutions come under attack. Suddenly, as I tell people, say what you will for me. To me, which one of us doubts our election commission? Which one of us goes to vote and thinks the result is not what is true and capturing the integrity of the process? And yet what will happen? That comes under pressure. So there is an attempt, and it's a very, very clever attempt, and it takes different forms. We had a very, very tough time during COVID.
So are you saying it's all coordinated?
No. I think there is a mindset. I think the mindset, I would say there's an ideology. I give you the example of COVID. Okay, I grant you, we went through a horrible time in COVID. Many of us lost people in our families, friends, acquaintances. Look at the coverage of our COVID. Did people not die in other countries? Did we see that coverage out there? Did you see that kind of photograph from other countries? You heard of bodies piled up in parking lots in other countries.
Yeah.
So I'm putting it to you this way. Look, I do think that one of the challenges today is you have, due to, in my view, and you may or may not agree with it, over 70, 75 years, what has happened is actually democracy has worked in this country. And the proof of democracy working in this country is cities, if you look, where is your leadership coming from? They are no longer the people necessarily from big cities and English-speaking schools. Okay? They are people of a different background. And again, I'm not talking individual here. I'm talking of a generalized phenomenon. You look at the mindset of this society. This society today has become much more assured about what it believes in. There was a time when actually you kind of kept that as though, you're not supposed to talk about your cultural beliefs in front of other people. So you actually have a huge change.
Did you experience that when you were in JNU? Not talk about Indian culture. JNU, that was in the 80s,
no,
70s. In the 70s. Look, you're diffident about your own culture. I saw this comment in which you said one of the greatest diplomats that India has was Lord Krishna, and there was Lord Hanuman. You mentioned him also, and it's not something that is spoken about in diplomatic circles, and even in the media, the beat journalists would never think of diplomats, and not even you. And when you think about it, your background, your journalism, your education?
Well, yes and no, because
it's a socialist hub.
No. I also had a lot of home education. Okay. Say JNU was different. I was 18 when I went to JNU. Okay, and JNU was very, very firmly leftist at that time, and I think everything at 18, what you intuitively believe is either formed by your friends and acquaintances or what is reflective of your home. And definitely in our home,